I'm not ready.
Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 47, a Justice for Jar Jar May the 4th episode.
Jar Jar Day.
I quit.
I
quit this podcast.
Jar Jar Day.
It's Jar Jar Day. Congratulations.
Like, for anybody that is not really in the know at the moment, like if it were not for Jar Jar's like actions, we wouldn't
illustrious
have had
abilities.
May the 4th. Exactly, we wouldn't have had May the 4th, and the Star Wars series as it exists would not have happened. None of the events would have transpired. So
that would
please,
This is the kind of bullshit that caused the American Revolution.
let's all please have a moment of silence for Jar Jar for his great service.
Is Breyer against facts and science?
I think he must be.
Do
Do you also believe that the Earth is flat?
He's just going by his gut? My God.
It's crazy. It's crazy. This is wild. It's wild.
It's a wild May 4th out there. You guys got any Star Wars plans for May the 4th?
I didn't know it was May the 4th until you guys told me.
I'll be honest, I didn't realize it until we started the call that it was May the 4th. I was like,
I think
what?
actually Sparty told us in chat.
I only know it because of Twitter, because everyone's talking about it on Twitter. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, May 4th.
But you know what they're not talking about on Twitter? As
Jar Jar.
Eric's brought
Jar Jar.
up, Jar Jar. What's up with that?
I put out my controversial tweet this morning that he was the best character in Star Wars. I've had many angry replies. I've done my job.
You've stoked the fires of nerd rage.
I saw
That
that
was some
tweet.
reason from Twitter.
There's a lot of comment. I saw a lot. I didn't go into the comments. I was scrolling. I saw it and I was like, that's a big number of comments. Wonder what's going on in there.
Whoa. That's basically like I think that's basically all I've worked out that that's all I really use Twitter for. I just chat rubbish on Twitter. I just like stir rubbish, but in like a nice way. I'm not like a genuine negativity stirrer, but I'm like let me stir the fun troll pot that isn't going to impact anybody. Unless some people take the whole situation. I do still, just to be clear, this isn't a joke. I do still back Jar Jar, but I also like to just stir the pot.
So you're not actually stirring the pot. You're just being authentic.
I mean, I am authentic. Yeah, exactly. It just so happens that my authenticity is also stirring the pot. You know,
That's great, man. I kind of want to play Battlefront. Battlefront got an update last week. I haven't played it yet. Yeah.
It's final update that it's going to have.
Yeah,
ever.
the final drop for Battlefront 2.
Are they going to make another one, or is this going to be...
Probably. I'm assuming.
Probably
if
will.
they're ending production for this one, they're probably thinking about Battlefront 3 or whatever next iteration. You know, like that had a super rocky start, but then as time has gone by, Battlefront 2
The
has gotten
rockiest, one might say.
crazy rocky start, and people are like, that game is dead, like Anthem dead. And then they just kept on building and more updates. And when we played it, I think it was like last year sometime, I was blown away at how fun that was.
Yeah. And it looked great, played great. It was a really good time. Yeah, game's really good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, man, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Jar Jar a playable
Jar Jar.
character yet? Jesus.
Whatever you say.
I mean, it would have been better if there was Jar Jar, or if you could play as the what are they called? Not the Ewoks. What are the other little people called with the hoods that sell the scrap?
Oh,
yeah.
Scrappers, of course.
No. They got a name.
I know who you mean. Yeah, I don't. I can't remember their name. Someone in chat will yell at us eventually.
With the yellow eyes through the hood.
Yeah, I used to play as them in like in Jedi Academy, because you get all the different skins and then you go around and like you're half the height.
Jawa. Thank you, chat.
Jawa, that's it. Yeah,
Kind of like Jar Jar.
Yeah, exactly.
They're very similar sounding.
Yeah, can you actually be a Star Wars fan and think Jar Jar is the best and not know what the Jawas' names are?
I don't think you could be a Star Wars fan and think Jar Jar is the best. I think those are two opposite things.
It's true. You can't be a Star Wars fan, but you can be a Star Wars super fan. Which is what I am.
There you go.
Mega fan.
I mean, what can I say? You know, like
Eric's stand for Jar Jar.
Exactly. 100%.
Now, so there was some news about Star Wars stuff in the gaming world, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which come with May the 4th. So Respawn tweeted out, it was right before the podcast started, that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting an update.
That's
So
a surprise. I had no idea.
It was a surprise. I saw that and
That's
I was
so cool.
like, what? So a couple things that they're adding. They're adding a new game plus, which I think is the it's exciting, but it's the least that they're doing with this, because they're also adding some really interesting things. So they're adding something called meditation training. So meditation training is the biggest part of the update, apparently. And it's a new game mode hub that can be accessed from the meditation points found throughout the game. So in it, you'll be able to face off against all enemies, including bosses, in 2 different modes: combat challenges and battle grid.
Like
so you're going to be able to go to this meditation thing and just like kill whatever monsters you want, including all of the bosses that are in the game, both early and late.
Wow.
I'm going to try not to do any spoilers in case people want to jump in, but
do you think they saw Final Fantasy VII Remake's VR chamber where you can fight all the bosses and we're like, hey, let's add one of those. That'll be great.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. So with the 2 modes being combat challenges and battle grid, combat challenges will pit Cal against waves of enemies across multiple planetary backdrops from across the galaxy.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Each unique location will feature its own unique challenges, allowing for tailor-made experiences that draw from each environment. Different challenges will have different number of waves, and each will have 3-star completion rating. So you can complete it, just complete the challenge, you get 1 star, and that's going to allow you to get a new BD1 appearance skin.
Oh, okay. So it's like skins. Nice.
Yeah. If you complete challenge number 2 is to complete the challenge without any healing. 0 healing. And then to complete the last one, complete the challenge without taking any damage.
No hit run.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's 12 different challenges in total, and each challenge has those 3 different levels of completion.
That's cool. When the force is really with you, you don't take any damage.
when you're feeling the force real deep,
right?
You might be able to go for that.
You close your eyes and you're like, nothing can hit me. I'm with the force. I'm one with the force.
Exactly.
Force is with me.
I always wonder when you see like updates for games, like this is a pretty significant update. When you see an update for a game come so long after the original game launched, like how popular is it? You know, like how many other people like reinstall the game to play it, or is it more intended to sell new copies of an old game?
That's a good question, because like EA they've got the license for the Star Wars franchise, which Disney awarded them. Be like, hey, here's the make good with this license. So I feel like it's more of a promotion for the overall franchise, as opposed to like, hey, let's try to get more sales out of Fallen Order, because you can also do like the Game Vault or whatever it's called for $5 a month and get access to it to play that game. And if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It was really fun. I had a fantastic time playing that game. Yeah,
it's a good game. The next part is even more exciting. The next part of this meditation challenges is called Battle Grid. This actually gets me maybe wanting to jump in, because this mode is a sandbox for players to create their own encounters.
What?
Ooh.
Like Forge?
Okay.
So in it, players will be able to select a location, the size of the encounter they want to face, tinker with various difficulty modifiers, and set the overall combat difficulty to one of 4 different levels. So if you go onto the Respawn website, it kind of looks like, when I first saw it, I thought they were doing like a turn-based tactical version of Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen
because
Order
that's
tactics.
what it looks like. Yeah, exactly. There's like grids, and then you're putting different enemies on the grid. So I guess that's where you want them to be placed. So there's a lot of room for creativity within this mode, and you'll be able to save your grid creations to play later. As an added bonus, this mode will also feature unique enemies Cal saw. So I'm not going to say what he saw, but unique enemies.
Can you share those creations?
I don't see anything about sharing.
Share it with Jar Jar and get his opinion.
Hey, there we go.
So the only thing that they did say is post video clips so the community can replicate your creation.
Because that would have probably been the make or break thing for that. Because if they made like a thing where you could share it, and then you get like the whole kind of Mario Maker style thing where people are creating these tough challenges, then you could almost see like a massive second win for the game, because obviously there's that Dark Souls-y-esque element to the combat where there's kind of that challenging nature. Whereas if people could kind of create those, I can see people doing it. But if it's more like, in order to create this, you need to go and place this enemy here, these 25 enemies here. It's like it's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so, that would have been really cool to have people creating a Souls type experience sandbox and being able to share that. That would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
I did like the combat in that game an awful lot, though. So this is somewhat appealing. I don't know if it's going to get me to reinstall the game, though, to be honest.
What else?
True.
What else is there? Is that it?
So there's with the new game plus, they're calling it New Journey Plus.
Okay.
So when they said NJ Plus, I thought it meant New Jedi Plus, but New Journey's fine. So
That's
they
funny.
added that, and you're going to be able to play through, and this is carrying over stuff from the playthrough that you had. So it's not starting over again. You're carrying it forward like you would expect with a new game plus.
Yeah, I mean, do you get all your abilities? Because if you have all your abilities, you unlock quite a bit of the early levels. So
they said for this mode, we think we found a good balance between what to carry over while still allowing Cal to discover abilities on his journey.
Oh, okay.
So they've hit some sort of balance with that. They've also done so. Yeah, this feature gives those of you who've beaten the game a menu option to start at the beginning, gaining access to meditation training game modes. So that is exclusive in New Journey Plus. You have to have gone into New Journey Plus to do those combat challenges and stuff like that. You'll also keep all of your collectibles. This includes lightsaber parts, all of that stuff. And there's also going to be some new things to unlock, which I'm not going to talk about because it is a spoiler to talk about what you unlock.
Okay.
But they're adding something, and then they're also adding a red lightsaber for you to be able to get. So you can truly embrace your dark side. You can truly embrace your dark side.
Yeah. So
what color lightsaber did you guys end up going with?
I went purple.
Because you can design your own lightsaber.
Purple.
I went purple.
I went pink.
Yeah, and the purple's
pink
and the
looks
pink.
great. Yeah.
Pink does look great. Purple stands out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I never played it, but I think I would have gone green.
Green was cool looking.
Green looked great. The thing that really impressed me is that they all sound different as well.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that.
So
I
yeah.
didn't realize that either.
Yeah, they all sound different. The orange one, I think, sounds the most unique because it's the most different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, they all sound different. Another thing that's pretty cool about this update is that they've said that they're excited about these new hilts that they're adding to the New Journey Plus because they've worked with their friends at Lucasfilm and Disney to make sure they match the ones you'd find at Galaxy's Edge.
So do they update those? They update those hilts, so they want to put them in the game now?
Yeah, so they're adding. You can now, if you've gone to Disney and you've made your own lightsaber, you can now have the lightsaber in the game.
Well, so that was the case.
Make my own lightsaber.
Make it in the Disney.
See, that was the case before, where you could actually make that same lightsaber when it first launched, but because Galaxy Edge came out, I guess later, right? They updated the pool of hilts. So now they're updating the pool of hilts in the game as well.
They're updating them to match. Yeah, they said that we've worked with them to make sure they match the ones you find at Galaxy's Edge.
That's pretty great.
Cool.
So all of those are exclusive to New Journey Plus. So if you want to have all of those new hilts and you want to have the red lightsaber and all of that, that's all New Journey Plus.
Oh, okay.
And then
Is that all a free update for the game?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's a free update. They've done some accessibility improvements as well. No need to hold the climb button. So you can climbing was a little funky. That's the one thing I remember. Climbing was a little funky sometimes. So they've improved that, which is great.
Yeah, I do remember.
And then they've done some bug fixes as well. Improved transitions between parry and block animations, so that's going to feel even better.
Nice.
So yeah, it's all good stuff.
It is good stuff.
I was not expecting this at all. I saw a Respawn tweet about it, and I was like, and it's available now.
That's really cool.
Play it right now this second.
Yeah, again, if you get the $5 Game Pass, or maybe it's $10, I can't remember. Like there's like a monthly thing, just like Game Pass for Xbox. They have it for EA Vault. You can actually get that and then play the game. And I don't think you'd play it longer than a month, unless you only have an hour a day at most to play. So you'd have access to play it that way, or you can obviously buy the game. But I definitely recommend it.
The game's not expensive. It's like $30 or $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even a full price 60 game.
Yeah. And it felt like it. It was a full price game.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. Wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
No, more Star Wars news, actually. I just reading this is that Star Wars VR, the Vader Immortal game, is coming to the PlayStation VR for the first time. That used to be locked to Oculus. The Oculus Store. Now it's coming to PlayStation VR. I played this game, or it's coming out. It's like a series, so it's like chapters. I played the first chapter. I haven't played the second chapter yet, but I gotta say, it was a phenomenal experience. the first chapter. You play a Force user. You get to use a lightsaber in VR. You actually get to talk to Vader himself, and it is an incredible feeling standing in front of Vader, like in VR. Like he's 8 feet tall, and it feels really intimidating. Like honestly, like it's an incredible experience. So that's coming to PlayStation VR this summer. They haven't released a date for it, but that opens that game up to a bunch of new users, which is great.
It does, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. That's some good May the 4th action right there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we talk about Street Rage 4.
Hell yeah, we should talk about Street Rage 4.
Let's do it. So good.
This game is so good.
It's amazing.
You know something that was really impressive, which might be minor, but I was watching Tefty play with, I think you were playing with Mech.
Yeah.
And one person was playing like the new look character, and one was like the pixelated old school look.
I was playing as old school Axel, yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool to see the actual difference side by side, and Axel being in that world with the updated world. I was like, that's really cool that you could do that.
So
that is really cool.
Yeah, that's a highlight that happens in this game, because like I played it on hard and I played it solo, and I beat it in about like I think 5 or 6 hours, something like that. So it was one stream, was able to beat the full game, all 12 chapters, and it was definitely difficult too. Hard was hard, and there's harder modes. It goes hard, harder, I think, and then insane or something like that. Definitely ball busting difficulty at that point, where it's like, damn, this is tough. But what happens once you beat it, you unlock pixelated Axel from the original Street Fighter.
No. That's once the game works on a like a score system where once you accumulate, after every chapter you accumulate a little bit of score, and then once you accumulate certain levels of progressive score, so the more you play, the more score you add up, and it saves it to your profile. So you unlock characters as you build that score up, and there's 12 different characters you can unlock.
Got it. I thought that you unlock the score character unlocking after you beat the game. My bad. But yeah,
there's a character that you unlock, I think, after like level 4, but then the rest of them, I believe, are just based on score. Yeah.
Adam. So each character also has their own movesets. And
from the original game. So like if you can use Axel from Streets of Rage 1, and it acts as if it's Axel from Streets of Rage 1. You can also use Axel from Streets of Rage 2 or Streets of Rage 3, and for each game, they have their original moveset and their original special moves and everything.
Yeah,
that is really good.
Yeah, so the replayability is very high. You also unlock boss rush or boss battle, and you unlock arcade mode, which is like a one life mode to play through the arcade.
Let's talk a little bit about the game itself, though, because
the
game is gorgeous. It's it's a fully modern game. It's not a retro game, right? It's kind of a retro style of game, but it's fully modernized. It's it's 16 by 9, 1080p graphics, just gorgeous, lushly.
It looks so good.
Drawn.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just absolutely awesome looking. And even the characters, like their movesets, are all modernized, right? It's like they fully utilize like a regular controller, right? You can use a thumbstick to control your character. You use all the buttons on the controller. You have a separate button for hitting backward. You have a separate button for using a special attack, for doing all sorts of stuff. So you can use like a legacy control scheme where it's just 3 buttons, like on the Genesis. But I mean, it also feels like a modern game, right? It's like the animations are fleshed out. They're smoothly transitioning between different moves.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a really fantastic game.
Well, what's interesting is that the formula is obviously retro. Like this is
it's a beat 'em up, right? It's like a scrolling beat 'em up.
It's a beat 'em up
in the style of Streets of Rage and Final Fight.
Yeah, it's straight up that retro feel, and it plays so phenomenally for today in 2020. Like I was really surprised. I was like, is this nostalgia kicking in really hard, or is this just straight up an awesome video game? I think it's an awesome video game.
I think it's an awesome video game. There's like so many updates like to that formula too. You notice that you never like hit guys off of the screen. Like they always stop at the screen when you hit them, so that like they're not popping in from off the screen like they used to in old video games.
Yeah.
You know, having 16:9 in this type of game too is incredibly helpful.
Yeah,
because you just have such a much bigger area.
Yeah,
to fight in.
Yeah, initially I had to like get my mind wrapped around at this combat again because I was struggling for the first few levels. I was like, oh boy, this isn't holding your hand at all. And then you start getting the grapples down and like what you can do combo wise for throwing enemies into each other, and like there's a certain rhythm that starts developing. And obviously, if you're a fighter fan, like if you play a lot of Street Fighter stuff like that, it lends itself to this because there's combo systems in the game to where you can juggle enemies. Like if you bounce them, you can then continue to hit them, and there's things that you could do to keep on chaining combos if you start understanding the system. And I was just getting like a small window of that towards the end of the game, but it opens it up that way to where you can get pretty advanced with the combo system in the game, and then also juggle it with another person co-op. Where you could do
Yeah. I've seen some nuts. Like I was like, I was only starting to get like small combos down, and I saw like a Twitter video the other day of a person that basically like half-lifed an entire boss. They just didn't touch the ground. And I was like,
I saw that.
Okay, there.
Yeah, you get struggle big time.
Yeah, it's definitely tougher to begin with though, because I mean, I jumped back in like obviously for the day it came out, and like it's been such a long time since I last played Streets of Rage, so like
Same.
I remembered the whole kind of beat 'em up nature, but I didn't remember any of the kind of difficulty elements. So I went in thinking, a standard like beat 'em up stuff. I'm just gonna go and button mash and just hack these guys up, and I'll walk through and just enjoy myself. And then I was like, literally the first knife guy came on, just ran into me, killed me. I was like, right, let's think about this again. And I mean, I only played through on normal. I was playing through my friend, and even on normal, like there's some of the fights at the end, like when you're on like the elevator and stuff, and you get like there's so many enemies, like even just on normal difficulty, like you're getting swamped by everything, and like if you and I also completely forgot when I first played like the specials eat away from your health, so you have to kind of use them sparingly. So at first I was like, oh, special, let me just spam these. I was like, wait, where's my health gone? I was like, oh.
But that's a really cool system though. I like that because like you spend health and then you have the option of getting health back by landing hits, and as soon as you take a hit, then you lose all that potential. Like that's a fun risk reward system right there.
That's new to this game too. That was one of those things that I feel like was a holdover from when beat 'em ups were in the arcades and they were just trying to like steal as many quarters from you as they could. But now, like, you can use a special, you use that little bit of health, but if you are aggressive and you go right after him, you just get that health right back.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A real risk reward system, and it just adds like fun to the game, like because like there's some of these games can get really mind numbing, right? Beat 'em ups can get really mind numbing because you're just literally hitting one button over and over again and walking forward. But this game, man, the combat is super fun. The variety of enemies is super cool. Like
the music.
I was going to say the music.
The cop stage alone, like there's a bunch of different kinds of cops. They all have really funny and interesting names. Like the cop with the shield is named Murphy, like RoboCop. Like there's one that's just named Dick, which I thought was hilarious.
Dick, Barney,
which is another great cop name. Like it's just like it's so rich with personality. It's incredible.
And then there's the pocket pool guys, Dylan, Francis.
Yep. Just like walk around with their hands in their pockets and headbutt you and double kick
That
you.
seems exactly the way Fran would play.
Exactly.
Fran was gonna fight.
But you were saying like there's something that happens where you don't really feel the monotony that happens with fighting games.
Yeah.
I think a large portion of that is the music as well, because it's so varied but so high intensity with this old school like synthwave 80s electronic brought to like modern type of feel. It just gets you going. It's like it kicks up and also has changes throughout the stages too. So it's not just one soundtrack. Yeah.
One of the funniest parts on the soundtrack. Do you remember that? I can't remember what stage it was, but like you know how everyone, largely speaking, walks at a very similar pace in this game. And there's one stage where the music is very, very fast, and the cops move to the beat of the beat, and suddenly they're moving around so fast. I'm just like, they're almost moving faster than the animation is supposed to happen, but it literally matches the music, and I'm just like, this is just a comedy now. I can't remember what it was, but it was just so funny.
That was the drug stage, right? Everybody was hopped up on the mind control drug or whatever.
Of course.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cops literally on the beat. I get it.
Dear.
This game, it's more than a nostalgic fix, right?
Yeah.
It's got that, but it's also like a really fun, brand new game, and it's available on like just about everything, right? Steam, PlayStation.
Where'd you guys play it?
If you have, I ordered the hard copy for Switch, which I haven't gotten yet, but it's also available on Xbox Game Pass, so that's where I've been playing it.
That's where
for
I played
free,
it.
Not for free, but as part of
the for free, basically.
Subscription.
I played it on PC Game Pass, and one thing though that I don't know if it's a bug or if they just excluded it from the Game Pass version is that you can't switch to retro graphics on Xbox and PC, but apparently you can on PS4 and Switch.
Yeah, which is weird, right? I wonder if that's going to get updated. Like they just didn't have.
I would hope so.
Because there are a ton of developers making this game. So I wonder if like the guys who ported it over to Xbox and PC just ran out of time and couldn't get some of those extra features in.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Did you guys play it co-op?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Did you? Because co-op. So co-op. I mean, obviously co-op is like super fun in this one. I don't because again, it's been such a long time since the previous ones. I don't remember the previous ones, but like in this one, when I went to co-op, it's obviously like you have the option to have friendly fire on or off. So me and my friend were like, well, we're gonna leave it on. It's gonna be funny anyway. But like, oh my gosh, that is tough because obviously, like in the nature of Streets of Rage, you have to be on the same plane to attack things. So suddenly, sometimes it'll be a boss fight, and I'm just trying to combo the boss. I'm like, I end up keep like throwing like a knife into the back of my friend. I'm like, sorry, but it's but I always feel like it's kind of part of the charm. But it made it a lot tougher just having to like. I think we killed each other.
That's funny. So Mech in chat, Mechanize, he had finished the game, and so we both had Insane available. And I was like, I should invite him into the game to play and see how that goes. One thing I noticed, now he's in Florida and I'm in California, so 3,000-mile difference right there. I definitely noticed input lag when he was host.
Okay.
Like that was very apparent. I was like, oh, okay, there's a solid chunk input delay right there that's being added. And then also he got disconnected or his game crashed because a lot of people have been having PC crashes, and it completely killed the lobby. So it kicked me out, which was a bummer. So there's no drop in, drop out for people online, which, again, maybe they ran out of time, whichever. That would be really cool if they had drop in, drop out, especially if it was 4 players. Like drop in, drop out, 4 players. That would be insane.
Yeah.
Be so cool.
Oddly, the multiplayer, the online, you can only do 2 people. You can't do 4 people.
Yeah, 4.
But you can do 4 people couch co-op.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if they added 4 people to the online. Maybe their online infrastructure isn't up to the task yet, and maybe they can add to that later.
That'd be so
even
fun.
Then, even if it's just 2 people, like this game is just so much fun. I'm not asking for much more at this point.
Yeah.
And that XP character unlock thing, like that's great. You said it was 12 characters? The unlock?
12 unlockable characters, I believe.
That's a lot. Actually.
Maybe 17, actually.
Yeah, I think it's 17 because there's variations of those characters. Because you unlock Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 versions of those characters. And you also unlock Shiva, and you unlock, I forget the other name.
Trying not to spoil every
I do wish they did more...
Well, it's in it literally shows you when you go in there.
True. I do wish they had more like. So here's the thing, right? Like I obviously I love retro games, right? And I love kind of going back and I appreciate them for what they are. But like it's almost one of those ones where like in this game, because it looks like I love the new visuals. They're just like the art style is incredible for it, and like the fact that obviously you unlocked like Adam Hunter as you went through, so it's obviously like, oh cool, that's like another one. I almost would have liked it if some more of the characters you unlocked were also in the style of the new game. Like I love that you got the retro characters and having that blend, but the fact that it's like there's one character you unlock that is fitting with the game, and the rest of them are just like the old ones. Like it's cool, and it's obviously a throwback, but it would have been nice if they like I don't know done a few, because especially something like the like I know it wouldn't necessarily have made sense, but some of the bosses and stuff, like if they brought them over, that would have been cool, because I just want more of the art style. I just love that art. It was fantastic.
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I was hoping that we'd get some of the bosses from this game as playable characters, like the Commissioner. Like I really thought would be fun to play as.
Commissioner
that would be amazing. Unless they'll do it later as like a DLC thing. I mean,
that
could be, right?
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm hoping it takes off and people love it as much as we're talking about it. And then
I'm hoping Sega starts writing these guys blank checks to like go over old Sega franchise, like Golden Axe by these guys. Yes, please.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Just let them loose on everything.
Yeah,
give them all of it. Give them like the M2 blank check.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I highly recommend Streets of Rage. It is
Yeah.
Fun. You know, I'm probably gonna buy it on the Switch because it's
absolutely
perfect Switch game.
I like That's where I got mine. I mean, I ordered the physical version as well, but I just had to download it. So I got mine on Switch because I was like, well, I can see myself playing this because again, it's one of those ones where like, you know, once lockdown is lifted, it might be one of those things where you're traveling to an event and you're like, oh, I'll just jump on and just do a stage again. Like I could see myself going back to this like randomly, like just to pass some time and stuff. It's just great.
Yeah,
and since you're constantly like progressing toward unlocking characters, like it doesn't feel even if you play one level, it doesn't feel like you wasted that time because that score goes to your like complete unlockable progress, which is cool. You know, eventually you're gonna get through that, but
apparently it feels so great to play on an arcade stick as well. I mean, which obviously makes sense, but like one of my friends that sort of played it, he was like, yeah, I highly recommend if you get a chance to play it on an arcade stick. It feels great.
Cool. Did you play as all the different characters?
Yes, yeah. I largely speaking kind of stuck at Blaze and Adam Hunter, but I did try all of them.
I didn't try Ruby, I think, right? She's the one with the guitar, Ruby.
I haven't tried Ruby either. I don't know why. Like, because Skate used to be my favorite, and Ruby looks the most like Skate.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Skate was like the fast character from Streets of Rage 2 and 3.
Yeah. In Skate's unlockable, right?
Yeah, his old version.
Yeah. Old version. Yeah. Not updated graphics.
Yeah.
They all play very different.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with what they're working with, right? Like you think of these games and you think that they're simple and you just kind of like go along and blah, blah. But to fit all of the varied play styles in it as well has been, they've done so well. They just did so well with this franchise.
I was surprised because I played all the way through as Blaze, just all the way straight shot. Didn't try any
Blaze
characters.
is great.
Yeah. Blaze is awesome,
So
obviously.
good.
And then I played OG Axel, and then I played Adam, and then I played Floyd, and just blown away at how different the playstyles feel. And all of them feel very useful in what you can do.
Floyd was a bit clunky. Like I love his character design. When I saw him before, I was like, this is like my character, because I was like, oh, you know, I like the kind of big tanky guys. And I was like, he's kind of got the Maui with the kind of mix of the mech parts. But then when I played him, I was like, he's a bit too slow for my liking. Like he's like, obviously you don't move too super fast in Streets of Rage anyway, but he's just like stuck in the mud slow. I was like, okay.
So he's super slow, but his regular special ability that doesn't cost any health is basically Blaze's ability to knock people back that costs her health. You know, so like you can keep on doing that power punch thing and knocking people back and juggling them that way, so long as you can activate the move quick enough. So like there's this balance between, he's slow, but man, he can easily knock people back. And when you grab somebody, pick them up, and you smash them into someone else. Like,
cool. That's great.
So
the fact
cool.
that you can pick up two different people and like,
it's
smash them together.
It's really cool. Really fun game. If you got Game Pass, boom, play it.
Yeah, 100%.
Automatic. This is an automatic buy for just about anybody who's even slightly interested in this, because it's better than you think a brawler should be.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you imagine yourself playing a brawler. This is better than that.
Yep.
I think it's the best Streets of Rage game. And that's saying something. You know, 'cause Streets of Rage games are good.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can switch to retro music too. You can flip it back and forth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Super cool.
Nice.
So speaking of Game Pass, Gears Tactics also came out last week.
Oh,
it did. It did indeed.
Talk about this
on the Game Pass, and I got to play. I've been like, let's see, I'm in Act 2, Chapter something or another. I've been playing that for a bit, off and on, and it's been actually really fun. It's surprising. You think the XCOM, like if you like XCOM, this is a no-brainer because it feels very much like XCOM. But if you don't like XCOM and you want something maybe a little more forgiving, this definitely has options to be a bit more forgiving for you, because like you can have multiple moves per turn that happen, and like that helps quite a bit. And overwatching is really powerful in this, and that's where you set up your character to look down a lane to make sure if anything comes in its sights, you can do some damage and stuff. I think it's great. I've been having a lot of fun. I have had some issues with the user interface and a controller, and I think it's going to come out on Xbox at some point, but not quite yet. So I think maybe they're working that stuff out. So the little hiccups and bugs here and there, and like the checkpoint suddenly threw me back to like the beginning of a chapter or something. And I was like, whoa, what? And I just had to reload the checkpoint, and then it was fine. So
okay.
Little strange bugs like that have been happening. But as like a turn-based tactics game, very fun. Really, really cool stuff. And a lot of customizability too. Like you can get cases in the battlefield and bring them back. And once you've completed the level, you can actually you can get loot essentially that you attach weapon attachments and stuff to the gear. And they go up too to like legendary stuff. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen other legendaries, but I had one awarded from like I think it was from beating the boss, the first Act 1 boss, which was a pain in the ass. That was a tough fight. Yeah, good stuff. Again, Game Pass. If you like turn-based, if you like tactic turn-based games, it's a no-brainer. Play it. Game Pass.
Right. It's surprising to me this didn't come out on Xbox day one. Like, the fact that there's controller support built in on the PC version, it's like, why wouldn't they release this? Maybe there's just not time, or maybe they're waiting for it to be a Series X launch game or something.
Maybe. It is weird. Again,
does it look like a next-gen game?
Oh, yeah. Like you were saying, it looks so much mobile-ish when you saw pictures and stuff. It actually looks really good in the regular XCOM format. The only thing that can look downgraded is when they do these zoom in. So, in Gears of War, when you cut an enemy in half with the chain gun and all that, like you get to do that, and it zooms in sometimes. And when it does, there's still technically like low poly models because it's the battlefield models that it's zooming in on. So that can look kind of mobile-ish. But when it's always panned out, it looks beautiful. Looks great.
Some games are like that. Some games, still images don't do them justice. You got to see it in motion.
Yeah.
Speaking of low poly models, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, nice.
So last week, this is the Briar Final Fantasy episodes. Last week, you finished Final Fantasy Remake. Yeah. And you were wanting to jump into Final Fantasy VII. But when you played it originally, you didn't like it.
Didn't like it. And I think I still don't like it. But I'm going to keep playing it. So I got it on the Switch.
Nice.
And there's a bunch of things about like the newer version on the Switch that make it much more enjoyable for me personally. One of them is that you can hit the left trigger and it speeds up the game by 3x. So just everything is now faster.
Wow.
Like loading time, summons, walking, everything is just like 3 times faster. So
nice.
For like an impatient person, and that's one of my biggest problems with Final Fantasy VII was it felt like it took an eternity to like do anything. That makes it really good. And there's another thing is the right trigger. If you hit it during battle, it basically just charges your limit break. So you always have it, and gives you max health and max magic.
So I basically cheat my way through the game.
It's like a cheat.
Yeah, you can basically just cheat your way through the game. Yeah, exactly. But for me, this is kind of perfect because I don't actually like the game that much. I'm just here for the story.
Yeah, it's actually perfect for you because and this is really smart because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who play the remake and they're like, "Ooh, I want to find out more." And this is great for you to just play through the story. You don't care about the combat, you don't care about running around, you just want to know the story.
So, I blazed through Midgar. I think it was like a few hours. Like, I'm out in the open world.
The original that took about 6 hours to get through.
Yeah. And all I'm doing really is I'm just like blazing through the combat. I'm like, the game, it's a shame what's happened to this game because when it came out, it did legitimately look phenomenal, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it had those like Resident Evil style pre-rendered backgrounds with polygonal models as your characters moving around on them. The problem in the Switch version, they up-res those polygonal models, but there's nothing they can do about those pre-rendered backgrounds. So they're still like that old chunky, PlayStation era looking pre-rendered.
Someone's got to load up a really old copy of 3D Studio Max and re-render it.
Right. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it still looks like it's, if you can, like, remember 20 years ago or 23 years ago, you can remember this looking pretty good, but now it looks really weird because you got like modern high-res polygonal Cloud and Tifa running around on this like really kind of chunky looking background, I mean, I'm here for the story. I really want to understand the story of Final Fantasy VII, so the remake makes more sense, or so I can understand the remake more.
You want
there are parts of it though. Yeah, I want that frame of reference. And now that I'm into the open world, I'm hoping to have a little more fun than I was having in Midgar. We'll see though. Fair. I mean, you can play it straight up, or you can play it with like a fast forward mode only, or you can turn on fast forward just you can turn it on and off by just tapping the trigger. So it's like,
that's cool.
Maybe you're running up like a long flight of stairs. You just turn it on for that section, and as soon as you're up at the top of the stairs, or if you're in a battle, like you get into a lot of like those randomized battles, you can just turn it on for the randomized battle, like against like a few bot flies, just get it over with. Yeah.
And then anytime you're about to die, you can just heal yourself and max limit break again.
Right. Yeah.
I like that. I genuinely because it's true. Like I wouldn't do that like normally in the game, but like to that point, like that would actually make me go back and play it. Because if I can literally because that's the thing. That's part of the reason that I don't like just turn-based games in general. Like apart from things like Pokemon, like I just find that when you're trying to just pace through the story and you want to kind of have that nice flow, there's just the constant battle. Like the random encounters. If I can just be like blitz, 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 that actually might make me go back and.
Yeah. How annoying is the random, like you're walking and all of a sudden, I gotta do a fight again.
It's so fucking annoying, man.
I hate it. I've always hated it. It's just, yeah. I like those ones where they. Well, that's the thing. I like it when the games. But I like it when the games do it where it's like you can see them in the overworld, so at least you can run away from them. Like Tales of Symphonia or the Tales of games do that, or like some of the other games. Like at least give me the choice to run from it and not be like, oh, I've walked 2 steps. And a random encounter that I can't even see has come out of this sand pixel. Like, so
yeah, I completely agree with that. I cannot stand random encounters. I didn't mind them back in the day, but as soon as we started getting games that like found elegant ways to avoid it, like having the characters actually like kind of roaming around in the like you were saying, like now it just feels like the most archaic thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
And like especially when you're like trying to get somewhere,
fully exploring a dungeon.
That's another thing about the remake, or not the remake, but the new version on the Switch is you can completely turn off random encounters.
Really?
So if you just want to get somewhere, you just turn it off.
That's nice.
Just get there.
So they really created a version where if you just want to know the story, here you go.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about a bunch of things.
Because that doesn't mean you don't even, technically speaking, need to grind that much. Because even if you're massively under level for a boss, every time you're about to die, you could just press right trigger and heal and just be like, well, this is great. This is great. I'm gonna have the best time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this now.
Like in a situation where you want to get kind of context on the Final Fantasy VII, I think they made this for PC and PlayStation as well, so you don't have to have a Switch.
On Steam,
but it seems like a no-brainer on Switch.
Yeah, it seems like a Switch game, especially with the graphics like that.
If you buy the physical copy, you also get a copy of Final Fantasy VIII Remastered in the box.
Oh,
really?
Wow,
which is nice. Yeah,
well, that's cool.
Might have to buy the physical version.
Yeah. They should have given us Crisis Core instead. That would have been great.
That would have been nice.
But it's only on PSP.
Yeah, that's never been remade.
They need to remake. They need to remaster it. Just bring it on the Switch. Just take it. I know it's not that simple, but take it. Throw it on the Switch.
Copy.
Because
Crisis
Core,
Control V.
Exactly. It's a good game.
I was looking online. It's not hard to get on the PSP, but for me personally, I gotta not only get the PSP version, but I gotta order another PSP battery.
Yeah.
Because my PSP battery exploded. But I found a copy for $13.
Nice.
But it wasn't until after I ordered it that I realized it was Russian language.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that, yeah.
Oh,
that's funny. Yeah, I might have to buy that on the Switch as well.
Yeah, it's not a bad
especially
way
if you can get Final Fantasy VIII with a physical copy. That's awesome.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get Mr. Tefty back into Monster Hunter World.
There's stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff. You got the Spring Blossom Festival that's happening right now. You've had the Colve Tareth fight that's come out, which is amazing. I'm never going to get bored of doing that fight because the music just feels it's just all of it. It's perfect. It's cool. It's amazing. And then just recently, Arc Tempered Namiel came out.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Which is the first Arc Tempered Master Rank monster.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit. I mean, this is annoying that they kind of it's the way the Arc Temple has always been in like where like it's just that they could do so much more with it because the Arc Temple Namiel fight isn't really that drastically different. It just hits harder. It's ever so slightly faster in a couple of things, but like largely speaking, it's the same. And that's been like the problem with like a lot of the Arc Temple stuff is that like it looks like you get some new armor, but like it would be cool if they did some more drastically different things to the fight. But still, it's free content, so it's more stuff to farm and whatnot.
And it comes with an armor set, which is gorgeous. And I don't care if the stats don't work for me. I will make them work because I am wearing it.
Fashion first,
no matter what. It comes with a lot of
the best value in video gaming.
You know what?
One of them. 100%.
Yeah, it's got to be up there because I mean, Iceborne alone, I could say I would pay $60 just for Iceborne. It's like a whole new freaking game.
Yeah.
And then so that was $40, and then you have just the constant free updates, both big updates and smaller updates. There's always events that are happening to get new stuff. It's amazing. There's always I always find myself being like, oh, there's more Monster Hunter stuff. Guess I'll jump back in and
it's really nice, right?
That. Yeah.
Yeah. And the things they've been doing that for like such a long time as well. You think back to like the other ones, like the previous games on like I mean, I can't remember. I don't think they necessarily had Event Quest on the PSP as far as I can remember, but I know I could be wrong. But like at least from like the Wii onwards, like all the Nintendo stuff, like there would always be like Event Quest you could download. Like in the previous ones, they wouldn't be rotational as well. But like for as long as I could really remember, like there's always been like Event Quest to download and things like that to kind of get involved in. And like they're just always at least I mean in previous games it wasn't necessarily quite as sizable because it would largely speaking be an existing monster in just like a different configuration in the quest or something. Whereas like now the fact they're adding like actual new monster stuff is just it's awesome.
Yeah, they have plans for a new Elder Dragon, right? That got pushed because of COVID.
Yeah, so Alatrion is actually returning Elder Dragon.
Oh, my bad.
But I mean it's new for like everyone like in World and Iceborne and stuff. But yeah, it's that's like a pretty awesome one. And there's also there's the kind of there's Alatrion which is listed, and then they've got like a question mark one which might be a new monster because that's the one they haven't. Okay. But yeah, unfortunately all that stuff has been pushed into it was basically scheduled for next month, and then it's all suddenly gone into TBC now. So technically speaking, at the moment, 80 Namiel and Kulf Tiroth is kind of the only stuff to do at the moment.
Right.
I mean, obviously the rest of the game and stuff like that. But I mean, we're kind of now into uncharted territory because we don't really have a date for anything at the moment.
The cool thing is if you did miss any of the events, Tefty, they're bringing back like not most of the events for you to like catch up on and do stuff because they were like, well, we can't do this update right now. So here's just all the events for anyone that missed anything.
How about some cross save?
That would be lovely, if only.
Right.
Yeah. Cross save.
I honestly feel like if it's gonna happen, it would be like in whatever they do next. Because like I don't understand the infrastructure behind that stuff because obviously I'm not like a developer, but I would imagine there's probably a lot of like foundational stuff you need to do to put like cross save in. So I almost feel like given that Monster Hunter is in the grand scheme of things coming to the end of its life cycle for Iceborne, it would, as cool as it would be, I couldn't really see them necessarily putting cross save in this close to like the end, so to speak. It's more sort of something I would think they'd probably try and do like the next time they do it. But I mean, I wouldn't complain if they did it, but it just sort of seems like quite a large like, undertaking for something that is quite close to the end of its life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I just started. That made me start thinking about a Monster Hunter World 2 on the next gen consoles.
That would be.
And I just got.
Be amazing.
My pants just got a little less roomy, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yes, that would be. It's got to happen. I mean, like, the fact the fact that this is now like their number one most successful franchise, like it's not even it's not even going to be an if. It's got to be. It's just a when kind of thing, right? Yeah. Like, and also they have multiple Monster Hunter teams as well. So like that would be it's got to be a thing.
Speaking of bulging pants. That just reminded me. Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh my god!
Holy crap!
The trailer was hype.
Yeah,
it looks gorgeous. I saw the.
We might get some gameplay this week because Xbox have got their event this week on Thursday. In the UK, it's 4 p.m. I think it's 8 a.m. PDT. But yeah, basically Xbox have got like so obviously up until now, all like next gen stuff has been spoken about through like blog posts and stuff. Whereas they've now got an event where they're supposedly showing some stuff, and rumor has it it's like largely speaking third party stuff. So it would be cool if there might be some gameplay this week.
Okay.
Does that mean potential Godfall gameplay?
That's PlayStation.
That's
so
PlayStation.
unfortunately,
Well,
Isn't
PlayStation
PlayStation
and
doing
PC.
something recently? Though?
No, they're still gone quiet. They're still like basically just saying nothing. But
I just want more Godfall gameplay.
But it could, that I want to see. But it could also be things like Cyberpunk at the Xbox stuff and whatnot. But yeah, go back to Valhalla though. Oh, I mean, obviously we've only seen the cinematic, but
Vikings.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Yes, Assassin's Creed Vikings sold.
Those screenshots look insane. The Xbox One X screenshots, holy crap, they look so good that I'm like,
Assassin's
really?
Creed games have been stupendous for the last couple of entries.
So there's definitely a divide on this. Some people are like, man, I miss the old school Assassin's Creed stuff, and then Origin took like a turn for how they were doing this, and Origin was a good game. I definitely enjoyed it. Odyssey, though, was a fantastic game. It was set in the Assassin's Creed type of universe, but like the game itself is just a fantastic RPG game. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to
I'm surprised. I think you're the first person I've heard actually says Odyssey, like they liked Odyssey better than Origins. Though.
Really?
Which one is Origin? Was Origin the one that came first?
Origin's in Egypt.
Odyssey.
Yeah, Egypt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Odyssey's
Bayek.
Yeah, Bayek. Yeah. Again, it was a good game. It was fun, but like the level of detail that was fleshed out in Odyssey way surpassed Origin. Like Origin had great quest line and a great like progression system. Well, I mean, the progression system.
I'm not hating. I think they're both fantastic, and I think the combat was way better in Odyssey.
Yeah, it was.
And I like the boats. I thought the boat system between the different islands in Greece was awesome.
The world was way bigger too.
I like Bayek as a character better, but I don't know. Like I think they're both awesome games. I'm not hating.
Yeah, Cassandra's voice acting was way better than what I can't remember the male protagonist.
Alex or something like that, or one of those. Yeah.
I had a mini game of Spartan kicking every possible thing off cliffs, and at one point, I Spartan kicked a cultist off a cliff that was like the biggest cliff I had found in the game to date. To where when you Spartan kick somebody off the ledge, they'll fall, and then you'll see a number pop up and be like, it's clearly readable. I Spartan kicked it so hard that there was time. There was like actual time passing, and then they hit the ground, it died, and a tiny number popped up on the bottom. I was like, "This is the greatest Spartan kick ever!"
That's amazing.
It was like I finished the assassination. It was great. Oh my god,
that story goes places too. If you haven't played Odyssey yet, like that game is super fun, and that story goes places.
Yeah.
So does Origins. I'd recommend either one of them actually.
Yeah,
it's really cool to explore ancient Egypt too.
So Tobias really enjoyed when Tomo was exploring ancient Egypt because there's a bird.
Yes.
So there's a whole bird gameplay. He was sitting right below the TV, and we had to be careful for him not to scratch the TV.
Amazing.
Yeah,
so cats approve of Origins.
The bird mechanic was cool. It's just I felt like Odyssey had all those things fleshed out further in more because they released back to back. It was like Origins came out and then Odyssey came out next year. So there was definitely two teams working, or multiple teams anyways. So I can't wait to see what they do with Valhalla, because I'm expecting the same level of detail that they did with Odyssey and that type of like you can dual wield shields.
Still works.
Yeah.
Why would I want to dual wield shields? What kind of defense? That's the kind of person who wears out the S key on his keyboard.
Because you're gonna be like, bam.
The interesting thing as well, though, because I mean, although it's very, I mean, I say realistic, it's not really realistic anyway with the whole anime stuff. But like when they kind of took the very big departure, because was it like in Odyssey and Origins, you had those kind of mythical monster like endgame style boss things you could fight as well, right? Like kind of post campaign things. Mm-hmm. So if they use that thematically, then if Valhalla does a similar kind of thing, we could be fighting like Norse gods and stuff, which
that'd be cool.
So cool.
Yeah, if I'm really interested to see how they do like Norse mythology in it, and I hope they really lean into it because it's so interesting. And if we do get the boss fights from Norse mythology, that would be absurd.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I hope so. That would be great.
Like, when it's Vikings, I'm like, because the thing is, I've drifted in and out of like, because I've I've been playing Assassin's Creed sort of since the very first one, and like I completed them all religiously for quite some time. Black Flag I then drifted off a little bit because I didn't really enjoy the naval combat, and then from then on I've kind of jumped into all of them, but not necessarily finished all of them. So it kind of started to go off. But then when it was when it's Vikings, I'm 100% there. Like that's just gonna be
same.
Gonna be good.
I'm super hyped about that.
Yeah, that game. I can't wait to play. Is that going to come out this year? You think?
They said this fall.
It's a whole 2020.
Okay, cool.
They're probably shooting for like it to be one of those kind of like next gen launch titles, right? Because it's coming out on next gen and current gen. So Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Damn, am I gonna play it on a next gen console or a PC? God, I don't know.
Ooh,
that's the question.
I'm playing. You know what? I'm playing everything on next gen's consoles.
I kind of want to spend
my money on a console. Go with it.
Yeah.
I like
PC is almost a year old. It's old news.
It's old news, exactly.
Right? I like playing things on consoles as well. You put the disc in, it works. You don't have to worry about drivers. Just like
you don't have to change all your settings. You know, I'm just like, just change the shadow. This doesn't look right. Oh, got to
feet up on the coffee table, sitting back on the couch.
That's true.
Does your PC have 12 teraflops? You never know. I don't even know what
you have a 3080
is,
Ti. It probably does.
Yeah, true. True.
Which that might get announced pretty soon too.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not. Yeah, that's true.
If you asked me beginning of this year, I would have said definitely. Now I'm having second thoughts.
Yeah, manufacturing and all that. Yeah, could be. So this week we got we're gonna get a bunch of announcements then from the Microsoft event.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that.
It'll be good. Like, yeah, I mean, the fact that it's gonna be like our first chance to like properly see next gen gameplay is gonna be nice. Because I mean, up until now, all we've really seen of next gen gameplay is like the tiny snippet of Godfall in those little gifs and stuff, which is not a great deal. Yeah, exactly. And then also the Senua's Sacrifice, like, which was largely speaking a cinematic, but then there was like a couple of things that could have been gameplay in there. So we haven't really seen anything like cohesively to gameplay. So it's gonna be quite exciting. Should be a big week. And it depends as well. They've got a whole event, so I don't think it's gonna be like one game. I think it's gonna be like a few third party things. And you know, if we think about kind of the third party things that we'd like to hear about, I mean, you know, I would love it if there was like Elden Ring there, or if there was like Tales of Arise.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah. So like, so there's so many things like that could just be
that's
really cool.
Norse mythology, right? Elden's Ring.
It is.
It is.
Ooh,
see, now
if the Vikings.
If anyone's gonna lean deep into that Norse mythology with boss fights, it's gonna be
a Dark Souls with Norse mythology is gonna be so good.
So man, amazing.
That game, I've bought that game already. Like they don't even have to show anything.
They
about
don't have.
it.
They don't have to tell me anything. They could just show what I've seen. It is completely enough. I don't need to know anything else.
Take my wallet. And also today, EA also announced that on the 11th, I forgot the date exactly. I think I retweeted it. I think the 11th of, I think it's next month. They basically announced that they're going to have they've got like an E3 style briefing happening as well, where they're going to be revealing stuff. So
what's the deal with that? Is that going to be on TV or what is that going to be?
I think it's just going to be like I think a lot of companies are basically sort of like to fill the E3 void, they're doing like their own kind of online presence. So it's still going to be like an EA Play conference, and there's world premieres and stuff. So I mean, you know, because obviously it's typical kind of EA procedure to sort of, you know, get ready for like the next gen. So you'll probably have the typical things like your football games and your like Madden and whatever. But then I wonder whether, you know, I mean, like BioWare have been saying for quite a while they've been like rebuilding Anthem from the ground up. You know, so could they announce like an Anthem 2.0? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was reading this weekend's video games in chat talking about Game Fest, that Jeff Keighley thing, the Summer Game Fest, and then I was hearing you talk, and I thought you were talking about Summer Game Fest.
Oh no, sorry. That was from
my bad.
It's quite all right.
But that's another thing that was announced, which is exciting.
True.
That's what I was asking though. Like, what do you guys think that's going to be? Is that going to be on TV, or is it going to be on the web? What do you guys think?
I reckon it'll still be on web. I reckon it'll still be like a stream thing. But
Twitch stream. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
It's a cool concept. I wonder quite how much there'll be, because you know he said it's going to be like a big like 3-month period, which is cool because when you think about it, normally pre like all this Corona stuff, like normally post E3 things go quiet for a couple of months until like July is normally a bit dead, and then August up until Gamescom. So the fact that he's supposedly got this Summer Games thing all the way until like August, I mean, I don't think there's going to be daily announcements. They'll probably just spread it out, but still,
like
it
weekly,
could fill a normal kind of quiet void. So it could be cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, do I like a once a week drip feed? Like Destiny right now for games,
or just like the giant announcement of just game,
where it's back to back to back.
I love that,
right?
I love E3, man. I love it.
Too.
Just like a dump of amazing stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, because when something like the new FIFA comes up or the new Madden, I'm like, great, bathroom break.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I'm hoping that what it might be is that it might be one of those ones, because like a lot of companies have sort of said that like in the E3 window they still want to do something, and I think a lot of companies are still going to do it anyway, because you think about it, even though E3 as what we know it before is not happening this year, everyone's still like mentally conditioned to expect something at that date window. So I could almost see like a lot of companies still doing their announcements and streams like as an E3 week, and then maybe Jeff's show will like give us like deeper dives for the next month. Maybe it'll be like, Bandai Namco announced a new game like at E3, but then like he gets the gameplay exclusive or something. So maybe it could work out well. But yeah, I know what you mean. I'm hoping he hasn't just suddenly like taken all of the E3 coolness and just like spread it thin and like, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I hope we still get the epicness of just, oh my God, it's another game. Oh my God, this game's coming back. Oh dude, this is number 2 this game.
Yeah.
Those moments are amazing.
And then around that
time,
do you
think that we could see Final Fantasy VII, whatever they're going to call it, like the next one?
That's what I've been hoping.
Summer?
I've been hoping that the game is out now, and that a bit of time for people to play, and that they were planning an announcement around E3 time ish to just be like, here's what we're doing for the next chapter and stuff. But
just like a trailer or a logo.
Just Cloud jumping off a train again. I'll take it.
Or just like showing an open world, like characters wander around in an open world, just to like take, because that's a lot of the speculation has been, and is there going to be an open world to explore in the next game?
I'm expecting a logo. If we get anything more than that, I'm going to be blown away.
Yeah.
Seriously, because they
probably got the right idea.
Because they supposedly started their actual development for Chapter 2 late last year, so
they have a trailer.
Yeah,
not even actual logo, just a text font.
It is in development. We can't confirm. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is in development.
Yeah,
beautiful, fantastic.
My guess is you get fired if you ever use Comic Sans for anything in that studio.
I kid you not. Like when I maybe that studio. Yeah, when I worked at Microsoft, and there was a guy who used to write his bug reports in Comic Sans.
Oh jeez.
Dang.
No.
Yeah, and this was a senior person on the studio as well. I was like, oh, this is great.
He probably thinks that's hilarious.
True.
Was he a fan of Jar Jar Binks?
No. Jar Jar Binks would use like impact font, like a big, I'm here kind of font. Comic Sans is right.
He'd use Comic Sans.
Comic Sans, obviously.
No. Comic Sans is like an Anakin Skywalker kind of thing.
Oh no. Definitely Jar Jar, 100%.
No, never that. Never, honestly, blasphemy. Oh.
But hey,
that have me sully his name.
I'm actually a little foggy on what dates these are of when this is happening. When's that?
So the Microsoft thing is this Thursday, the 7th.
This week for the Microsoft stuff. Yeah,
and then June 11th. So basically, in the E3 window is EA's stream, which they've spoken about for their world premieres. That's completely separate to Jeff's thing, and then Jeff's thing runs from like June all the way to like August.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know what his schedule is.
Big windows right there.
And I imagine like more people will start announcing like their plans for those things like soon. But yeah,
true.
I mean, it could be kind of cool.
Maybe part of it is the picking things back up from the dust of all the pandemic stuff, so that people can get their schedules together. Like maybe some companies are still trying to piece things together, not really sure what they would show or when they would show. So this gives opportunities to be like, oh, we can do this week or that week, because I doubt the majority of these companies have a lot of stuff figured out for this just yet. I feel like
it's true.
I feel like it's all just memos of what they could do.
So this week
Shout
in
out to
video
everybody who's
game.
been releasing stuff though. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so much.
absolutely.
For all those new
Thank you.
seasons on Netflix and Amazon Prime, HBO, all those games that have been coming out, Streets of Rage 4, like how you guys got this shit out during a pandemic, I don't know, but thank you.
Yeah, I saw there was an interview with Tandy Newton on Colbert, and she said that the last 4 episodes of Westworld they had to do ADR at home. So she went in her car and recorded her ADR to send to the studio to finish those last 4 episodes.
Wow.
I was like,
they did a fantastic job because I didn't notice any drop in quality.
Yeah,
I was
just
surprised
watched
too.
the season finale last night and I was blown away by that show.
Yeah, that was a fun season.
So real quick, apparently during the Summer Game Fest, they're going to have playable demos and game trials.
Really?
So, because at
cool.
E3, normally it's like, you can now, this is now playable on the floor. Well, maybe they're now doing a thing where it's playable on your device, which
that
is
will
actually
blow me away.
Now, if they do that, that would be, now I'm all bored on this because
that would be
if I
incredible.
get to play the new stuff that's supposed to be shown on the floor, but they're actually just showing it there, that would be incredible.
The enjoyment of E3 without actually having to queue up in a sweaty hall.
Without actually having to catch a cold.
Yeah. This could be great.
You went to a con right now.
I'm not going for another 10 years. We got to make sure it's fully passed.
Can you imagine
make sure it's over.
going to a conference anytime soon? Holy crap.
Oh, man. No. Makes me shiver thinking about it.
I'm excited to see what this stuff turns out.
Same. It's unknown territory, so I'm excited to see what he does with it and how it turns out.
Yeah, and then mid-June, after we get a nice little news dump, we get to play Last of Us 2. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Ghost of Tsushima.
Next month. Boom.
Oh, man. I'm almost looking forward to that more than I'm looking. No, that's not true. I'm looking forward to
both.
I am.
Both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm looking forward to? That I think is coming out this month. Somebody had mentioned end of month. Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually really looking forward to this because it's Diablo, but then Minecraft.
Yes.
So I'm totally down. We need a DCP plays Minecraft Dungeons.
Okay. I don't know anything about this. What is this?
So it's
literally it's in
Diablo Minecraft.
Yeah.
So it's got like nothing really to do with Minecraft. They're just taking like Minecraft enemies and the Minecraft like boxy look to stuff. But you're playing Diablo in a dungeon.
Yeah, it's like their Minecraft engine put into, I think it generates dungeons, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so
you're not going to be digging around. You're just going to be going in and fighting monsters?
Yeah, you're playing a Diablo-esque in Minecraft with loot that you get.
Yep.
Yeah, you have little like abilities and classes and stuff, and not classes, like the weapon you have dictates your class, but yeah.
I can't wait to play this.
No, it's actually quite fun. Yeah, it's quite fun.
Oh, did you get a chance to play it?
I played it just at a Xbox event end of last year, I think, something like that. Whenever the last Xbox event is, I can't even remember. The time is just blurred to me. It was either earlier this year or the end of last year, one of those two. But yeah, I played like a short run through it, and it plays really well. Plays kind of just sort of as you kind of expect. Like it's got that Diablo sort of feel to it, but with the sort of fun Minecraft quirkiness.
Do you like Minecraft?
Is it overhead or first person?
Overhead, still like isometric camera.
So
I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't really get to play it was one of those sort of short like queue up and play for like 10-15 minute demos, so I didn't really get to like sink my teeth into it properly. But I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
Nice. I'm excited about that. That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that I can get into. Yeah, I love those types of games. So
yeah, I really like Minecraft. I think it's one of those games that has put me into one of those those gaming thought processes when I've just been building stuff. And obviously you're not going to be building things in Minecraft Dungeons, but there's something about Minecraft that's really special.
Yeah, the new ray tracing support in Minecraft looks stupid good too.
It does, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Like outstanding.
Nice.
Oh god damn it! All right, I got to talk about a game. It's going to take me 2 minutes to talk about it. I'm sorry. I know it's late. Children of Morta. I picked up on the Switch. This game is really cool. Speaking of Minecraft, it's almost like a cross between I'm sorry. Speaking of Diablo, it's almost like a cross between like a Diablo and like something with like random dungeons. Well, Diablo's got random dungeons. It's a really cool game. You play as like a family of people who are fighting, the invading darkness. The twist is that each family member is kind of like a different kind of character. So like the daughter is, does bows. The son has like little blades and he's really fast. The father has a big sword and shield. And you go down into this dungeon and like it's a little bit roguelike-ish in that, even if you fail, even if you die in the dungeon, you bring back like money that you can use to upgrade the whole family or an individual character.
That's
so
cool.
There's like progress for even if you lose, but it's not a roguelike in that there is like a story and you do get to, you can pass a level and get through to the end of the game. It's a really cool game. It feels like really unique for this kind of game, and it's available on the Switch too. So it's a great portable game because you can really just pick it up, play a run through a dungeon. If you beat it, great. If you don't beat it, not a big deal because you bring home that money. You talk to the family. What's really cool about it too is even though when I lose and I don't make it through a dungeon, there's like a new story bit every time I go back to the house, which I don't know how they're doing that. like they've got to run out. Like if I'm bad enough, they've got to run out of story, right? But they haven't yet. It's a very, very cool game. It's got like kind of like, I wouldn't say retro graphics, but like 16-bit styled graphics.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of games are doing that now, but
it looks really
no
nice.
16-bit console would ever run this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some like video footage now. It looks really nice. This looks kind of my kind of jam.
And it is on Xbox Game Pass. If you want to just check it out and you're not sure about it, there you go.
Love the Game Pass.
It's a really fun game, and one of the cool things about it is like the variety of gameplay. Like every dungeon run feels different. There's like things that you can do, like save people who are stuck in the dungeon. If you don't do it, then you don't get that reward. So like you just miss out. Like there's all sorts of really cool things about it.
Cool.
It's fun, and the combat is fun.
Yeah, it sounds good. Awesome.
Might have to check that one out. Might have to check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, is that SideQuest?
I think that might be.
I think that is the SideQuest. Complete. Bring.
There's you ringing the bell, Briar?
There's no bell.
Didn't hear it.
Oh, this sound canceling mic.
Oh, it's canceling it
Can't
out.
hear it.
Yeah.
No. Is that the RTX voice thing?
Yeah. I started using that because now it's it's 80 degrees outside. I need an air conditioner running.
Dude, I could not hear your air conditioning.
I couldn't hear the bell.
Couldn't hear the bell, exactly.
Couldn't hear the bell, yeah. That's awesome,
Wow.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to next week because there's going to be hopefully some juicy news.
Yeah.
Some reveals. Hopefully. Yeah. Good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and listening to SideQuest episode number 47. We had some juicy content to talk about. The May the 4th Jar Jar Binks, Briar's love for Jar Jar.
Leave these guys.
Oh, man. If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft and catch my streams Twitch. Talk to at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft on Twitch. Yeah.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And I'm Eric. You can find me at Twitter and YouTube and the internet at Eric's or Eric's Gaming.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can actually, I got a new video coming up. I got another CRT off of Craigslist. We're going to talk about.
Is that right?
I'm going to talk about that experience of like grabbing these CRTs and what it's like to game on them in a YouTube video that should be out this week.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Look forward to it. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate all the support, whether you're watching live or on YouTube or on Spotify, podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. And shout out to our Patreons and all of our Twitch subs. Really appreciate the support, guys. See you next week for another episode.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.